Okay. All right. Uh, Welcome to today's session. Hi guys. I would like to show you how you can manage drift in your hybrid cloud infrastructure. But before we start, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Are you from operations side or well? Okay, so that's perfect. Several questions to come. Have you encountered situation that you are running VM, everything is fine, and the other day you come to office and suddenly it doesn't work? Okay. Another example, you have a service or VM with a service that is set up to start automatically, but after you reboot the service, it doesn't start suddenly. So someone changed the settings. Yeah, yeah. And okay, okay. Let me show you how I can help there. So I forgot to advance. So there was this slide. That was the illustration of not working. So let me introduce myself. My name is Tomas Odehnal. I work as system administrator at our system engineer at Runecast Solutions, and I started on Windows years ago, then continued on vSphere infrastructure with different hardware, managing the different hardware. Then was a infrastructure architect, and now I'm working as system engineer in this company, and I'm focusing mainly on Kubernetes and automation. Runecast, if you haven't heard of us, was founded in 2014, and we started as a proactive tool that helped vSphere administrators to find any hidden issues that might be there, in the infrastructure. And, throughout the years, we developed to full-fledged platform. We connect different kinds of systems. We do security benchmarks, best practices, and also container image scanning. One of the capabilities is configuration vault, and I'd like to show you today how we approach the configuration drift and what we can offer you with this. So let me quickly switch to the demo. Okay, now I get it. So Runecast is deployed either to vSphere as appliance, or can run in AWS or Azure as pre-built appliance, and we support also Helm deployment. But for this demo, I deployed it here as OVA. I've prepared 3 systems. I connected to vCenter server, I connected to AWS infrastructure, and to Kubernetes. But please bear in mind, we support also the other 2 cloud providers. We support operating systems. We support also different systems on Horizon. So all of what I will show you is applicable to those 2. Runecast is running analysis in scheduled intervals. So each scheduled interval, by default, it's daily, will store a bunch of data. And we use this data for different purposes. One of the purposes is configuration vault. And let me show you how we can use this data to work with the application. So for example, for AWS, you can use the first thing is inspector. You can use it to navigate through all the data that we gather, and this might help you This might help you to focus or find an information that you need that maybe might not be easy to access in the management tools that you are using. So here I can get to the list of the instances across all the regions. I can easily filter there and find those that I'm interested in. There is graphs on the top, and I can visualize some of the information that are available here, and that helps me with all different kinds of settings. This information from each of these tables that you see can be exported, so you can further process it in other tools. For example, here I have exported the CSV file of this table with these instances that I search for. The filtering can be done not only in the table directly, but let's say I have a S3 bucket, and I think it's called somehow like trail because I store CloudTrail logs there, but I'm not exactly where it is. So I can search for it like this, find it easily, have it visualized, like I immediately see it's in Northern Virginia, and I can see any metadata of that bucket. So for example, wanted to see if it's encrypted, and I can see it's not. While this information can be found in all these tools, we provide you with a unified view on different types of systems. So whether it's vSphere, operating systems, AWS, and so on, you have one view. You can use it to filter it and export the information. Let's get to baseline comparison. So the data is not there just to see them, but you can also compare the objects. This might be useful, for example, in clusters. So let's say I have a vSphere cluster with several servers. Let's focus on that cluster. Okay, it's this one. And there are 3 hosts there. And let's say I've set up the host number 2 according my needs. I have all the settings that I need, and want to compare if the other hosts comply with these settings. So I can quickly check the baseline comparison, and I immediately see the differences. There might be some fields that I'm not interested in, like memory, for example, or service tag. By the way, this is a nested environment, so that's why there are these strange service tags. And while I click on the changes button, I immediately see the differences between the baseline and the servers. So for example, here, the NTP servers are set differently. There is a different state for SSH service. And you can compare also all the advanced settings that are on the ACXI servers, so you will quickly find if the servers differ in the settings. As you can see, my baseline server has SSH service running. That's probably not what I wanted. As I was preparing it for baseline, I forgot about it. So what I can do is I can edit the baseline and change the settings according to the needs. Oh, that's NTP, I'm in here. So once I set it to stop, I can see the other servers match the baseline, but the one that does it running is not matching. And I can see change the settings also for the advanced settings. So I can modify the settings and see if the baseline is fine. This can be used for different kinds of purposes. Not just hosts, it can be also port groups. So you might easily find if you have port groups set according to your needs. So for example, all have the same promiscuous mode, MAC address changes, force transmits. And one thing vSphere administrators might find useful is also I/O devices, because there's many I/O devices you have to manage their firmwares, drivers. So you can use this to compare if all are set the same. I can quickly, for example, filter for network devices. I can visualize their driver version, and I immediately see that, yeah, in my case, it's all the same model, VMXNet 3, but there are different drivers. So I can quickly find out what server has the drivers different, and I just need to remove these values from comparison, and immediately I see there are two NICs that have this version different from the baseline, and it's on this server in data center too. I'm sorry? Uh, well, it's a nested infrastructure, so it's a bit misleading. So it would be a normal driver from the vendor of the card. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, now we are getting to, I think, most interesting part, and that is the actual configuration drift. Um, so as I said, each analysis is stored as one point, and we can compare two different points in time. Once I do that, I can see here I'm switched to I/O devices, so none of them changed. But for example, for hosts, there is one change, and I can immediately see what changed. So the service, SSH service, stopped at the time of the first analysis, and now it is running. So you can quickly discover any unwanted changes in the infrastructure. Let me show you another example. On Kubernetes, for example, um, let's compare these points. Okay, there are two nodes here, no change. And what I wanted to show you is cluster roles. So cluster roles are something that gives permissions to Kubernetes users. And here I can see there is a cluster role that changed. So I can quickly discover that something changed the settings. And here, for example, there was just read-only settings on the role. And with the change, there came update and patch. So now anyone who has the role has the change permissions, which probably was not intended. Luckily, this cluster role is not bound, so no one is using it. So that's a quick overview of the configuration vault, how we approach configuration drift and baseline comparison in Runecast, and what we allow you to do with Runecast. Well, we don't limit any of the points. So once you start analyzing it, it keeps the analysis there. So we can basically compare any of the points in the history. We have API, so it's possible to hook the API to any external system, and you can like fetch the information there. So that's possible. Sorry for the issues with the presentation. Okay. No, no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, there was one more picture I wanted to show. Never mind. So yeah, are there any other questions?
So the configuration, how deep does it go? Will every single configuration field that there is possible on the ESXi host, or?
Well, basically, we gather most what is available, and when the analysis is running, we gather everything, and in the configuration vault, we have selected information. But what we have planned is to allow the user to select their own columns and like data that he's willing to use. So.
How do you build your baseline based on, like, do you have one host that's the way that you want it, you usually build a baseline off that one host?
That's basically up to you because it's just the interface that's allowing you to do this, and basically you set it on the host.